My apologies. You are absolutely right. I included structural labels like hook and actionable takeaway that interrupted the flow. The instructions explicitly asked for a continuous narrative without headlines or labels to be read as a natural spoken story. Here is the corrected version. It flows strictly as a coherent spoken script with the direct attack hook containing no headers, labels, or breaks in the storytelling voice. Most people think sunscreen only comes in a bottle. But if you are over 60 and relying only on topical lotions to protect your thinning skin, you are fighting a losing battle with one hand tied behind your back. The harsh reality is that by the time you apply that cream, the sun has often already triggered a silent, invisible chain reaction deep inside your cells, oxidative stress that no surface level lotion can fully reach. We have been sold a half truth that skin protection is purely external, but true resilience, the kind that prevents the leathery texture and the dangerous mutations of mature skin, must be built from the inside out. You can physically eat your way to a higher resistance against UV damage, effectively creating an internal SPF that never washes off. I know that sounds like a bold claim. You've been told for decades to wear a hat and apply SPF 50, and those are still important. But as we age, our skin's natural biological defense system, the antioxidant network that usually neutralizes sun damage, starts to crumble. It's like a fortress where the walls are getting thinner every year. That is why you might notice you burn faster now, or that dark spots appear seemingly overnight compared to when you were 30. The hidden culprit isn't just the sun, it's your skin's declining ability to handle the sun. Today, we are going to fix that. We are going to rebuild your fortress. I am going to walk you through 5 specific accessible foods that act as systemic photoprotection. These aren't just healthy snacks, they are biological tools. We are going to look at the specific clinical data, real numbers from real universities that prove these foods can reduce redness, repair DNA, and literally thicken your skin against the elements. By the end of this video, you won't just have a grocery list, you will have a protocol for reclaiming your skin's independence and vitality. Before we start filling your cart with these protective powerhouses, I'd love to invite you to join our community by subscribing. We focus entirely on the science of senior health, the nuanced deep dive tips that your busy GP often doesn't have time to explain. And I'm curious, where in the world are you watching from? Are you facing a scorching summer or a bright winter sun? Let me know in the comments. It helps me tailor our advice to you. Let's launch right into our first internal defender, a food so common you likely have it in your pantry right now, yet it rivals some of the most expensive serums on the market. Cooked tomatoes. You might see a tomato as just a salad ingredient, but biologically, it is a vehicle for a carotenoid called lycopene. In the plant world, lycopene is what protects the tomato fruit from shriveling up under the blazing sun. When you consume it, it performs a nearly identical function for your skin cells. It doesn't just sit there, it actively hunts down the high energy molecules created by UV rays, specifically singlet oxygen, and neutralizes them before they can tear apart your collagen. Now, I promise you the hard science, so let's look at the data. The British Journal of Dermatology published a pivotal study that is absolutely essential for anyone with mature skin to understand. Researchers took a group of volunteers and had them consume 5 tablespoons of tomato paste daily for 12 weeks. This wasn't a difficult drug regimen. It was essentially a daily serving of pasta sauce. At the end of the study, they exposed the participants to UV light. The result, the group eating the tomato paste showed a massive 33% significant protection against sunburn compared to the control group. Think about what that means. Just by eating dinner, they upgraded their skin's natural defense by a third. However, there is a critical mechanism you need to understand here. You cannot simply slice a raw tomato into a salad and expect these results. Raw tomatoes have tough cellular walls that lock the lycopene away, making it difficult for your aging digestive system to extract. To turn a tomato into sunscreen, you must apply heat. Cooking breaks down those cell walls. Furthermore, lycopene is fat soluble. Imagine your blood vessels are a highway. Without fat, the lycopene is a pedestrian stuck on the side of the road. With fat, it gets a Ferrari. So here's your prescription. Stop relying solely on raw tomatoes for protection. Aim for processed cooked tomato products at least 3 to 4 times a week. This could be a high quality tomato paste, a slow simmered marinara, or even tomato soup. And always pair it with a healthy fat like olive oil to ensure that protective nutrient travels from your gut to your skin. Next on our list is something that sounds too good to be true, but is actually a sophisticated vascular tool, high flavanol dark chocolate. As we get older, one of the primary reasons our skin becomes fragile and paper thin is that the microcirculation, the tiny capillary network feeding the skin, starts to wither. It's like a garden hose with a kink in it. The water just isn't getting to the flower bed. This lack of blood flow means less oxygen to repair sun damage and less removal of cellular waste. This is where dark chocolate comes in, acting as a vasodilator. The active compounds here are cocoa flavanols, which trigger your arterial lining to produce nitric oxide, a gas that tells your blood vessels to relax and open up. The evidence for this is strikingly robust. A randomized double-blind study published in the Journal of Nutrition is the gold standard here. Researchers gave women high flavanol cocoa for 12 weeks and monitored their skin's reaction to UV light. The findings were incredible. The women saw a 25% reduction in skin redness after sun exposure, but the benefits went deeper. The study found their skin density increased, thickness improved, and hydration levels soared. Effectively, the chocolate helped the skin behave as if it were significantly younger. Imagine your skin like a dry, cracked desert floor. The sun beats down and creates fissures. Cocoa flavanols act like an underground irrigation system, saturating the earth from below so that it becomes pliable, rich, and resistant to cracking under the heat. However, do not mistake this for a license to eat a candy bar. The sugar in milk chocolate will actually accelerate aging by damaging your collagen. You need the medicine, not the confection. You need to become a connoisseur of bitterness. Look for dark chocolate that is at least 70% cocoa, though 85% is the sweet spot for maximum medical benefit. Avoid Dutch processed or alkalized cocoa, as that processing strips away the flavanols we need. Treat this as a daily supplement. 2 squares of high quality dark chocolate every afternoon is not an indulgence. It is a vascular intervention for your skin. We are covering a lot of science here, and I hope you are starting to see your pantry in a new light. If you are finding these tips helpful, please take a moment to give this video a thumbs up. It really helps us cut through the noise and get this information to other seniors who need it. Moving on to our third natural defense, we need to address the aftermath of sun exposure, inflammation. When your skin turns red and burns, that is an inflammatory panic response. To calm this down, we need the swimming, sunscreen, fatty fish, rich in omega-3 seconds. Mature skin is often in a state of chronic low-grade inflammation, sometimes called inflammaging. This makes it hyperreactive to the sun. Omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA, found in fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel, are the ultimate fire extinguishers. They integrate themselves physically into the lipid bilayer of your cell membranes. A cell membrane built with omega-3 seconds is fluid and flexible. When UV light hits it, the energy dissipates. A cell membrane without them is stiff, like dry wood, and easily ignites. The science supports this heavily. The American Journal of Clinical Nutrition published a study revealing that regular supplementation with fish oil rich in EPA significantly increased the sunburn threshold. This means it took a much higher intensity of UV light to cause a burn on the skin of people who took the fish oil compared to those who didn't. Essentially, the omega-3 seconds raise the skin's boiling point. Furthermore, these healthy fats prevent the immune suppression that occurs after sun exposure. Usually, the sun knocks out your skin's immune guards, allowing damage to accumulate. Omega-3 seconds keep those guards awake. I want you to audit your weekly menu. Are you getting enough of these healthy fats? Ideally, you should be eating a serving of fatty fish 3 times a week. If you are on a fixed income or find cooking fish difficult, canned sardines are an absolute superfood hero. They are inexpensive, rich in calcium for your bones, and packed with the oils your skin is craving. Mash them on toast with lemon And you are literally feeding your skin the oil it needs to stay cool. Our fourth defender is a beverage that has been used for centuries, but modern science has identified it as a potent DNA bodyguard, green tea. The magic ingredient here is a catechin called EGCG. As we age, our DNA repair mechanisms get sloppy. When UV rays hit our skin, they act like a tiny hammer, smashing the DNA strands in your cells. If those strands aren't repaired correctly, that is where we get permanent age spots, keratosis, and even skin cancer. EGCG steps in to supervise that repair process. A study in the archives of biochemistry and biophysics demonstrated that green tea polyphenols act as a pharmacological agent to prevent solar UV induced skin disorders. Data showed that these polyphenols could reduce the number of sunburn cells, which are cells that have committed suicide due to damage, and protect the epidermal immune system. Another human study indicated that consuming green tea resulted in a significant reduction in the severity of radiation induced skin damage. Think of it this way: the sun sends a demolition crew to knock down the pillars of your skin. Green tea sends in a security team that confiscates their sledgehammers. The crew might still be there, but they can't do the damage they planned. But like the tomatoes, preparation is everything. If you just dunk a tea bag for 30 seconds, you are getting colored water, not medicine. You need to brew your green tea for at least 3 to 5 minutes to fully extract the EGCG. And here's a pro tip from the lab: add a squeeze of lemon juice. Research suggests that citrus stabilizes the catechins in your stomach, helping you absorb up to 5 times more of the protective compounds. Swap your second cup of coffee for a cup of green tea with lemon. It is a calming ritual that actively repairs your DNA. Finally, we arrive at our fifth natural sunscreen, a category of food that provides a visible, healthy glow while it protects you. Orange vegetables, rich in beta-carotene. Beta-carotene is a precursor to vitamin A, but its role in the skin is unique. Unlike other nutrients that are metabolized quickly, beta-carotene accumulates in the skin layers. It acts as a physical and chemical filter. It literally changes the color of your skin, imparting a subtle carotenoid glow that studies have shown is rated as more attractive and healthier looking than a traditional suntan. A comprehensive meta-analysis published in the journal Photochemistry and Photobiology reviewed multiple studies and concluded that systemic protection against UV radiation is achieved after a minimum of 10 weeks of beta-carotene supplementation. The study highlighted that this acts as a baseline defense, roughly equivalent to a permanent SPF 4. Now, SPF 4 sounds low, but remember, this is 24/7 protection. It doesn't rub off on your towel, it doesn't wash off in the pool, and it doesn't degrade after 2 hours. It is always there, acting as a safety net for when you forget your hat. Imagine your skin cells are coated in a layer of golden paint. When the sun tries to scratch the surface, it hits the paint first, leaving the structural integrity of the cell underneath unharmed. Variety is your friend here. Sweet potatoes are fantastic for seniors because they are soft, easy to digest, and offer a slow burning source of energy. Carrots are excellent for snacking, but again, this is a fat soluble nutrient. You must eat your sweet potato with a little butter or your carrots with some hummus. Without that fat, the beta carotene passes right through you. Aim for one serving of orange vegetables every single day to maintain that golden shield. Let's take a deep breath and look at the arsenal we have built. We aren't just helpless against the sun anymore. We have the cooked tomatoes providing lycopene to shutter our cells against the storm. We have the dark chocolate boosting the irrigation and blood flow to our thinning skin. We have the fatty fish creating flexible, fire-resistant cell membranes. We have the green tea acting as a security guard for our DNA. And we have the orange vegetables providing that permanent golden base layer of protection. I want you to really let this sink in. Your body is incredibly adaptive. Even now, whether you are 60, 70, or 80, your cells are listening to you. Every time you choose these foods, you are sending a biological message of support. You are telling your skin, I have your back. This isn't about vanity or trying to look 20 again. It is about independence. Healthy, resilient skin is your first line of defense against infection, injury, and pain. Keeping your skin intact means you can keep gardening, you can keep walking, and you can keep hugging your grandchildren without worrying about fragile skin tearing or burning. That is freedom. And that freedom starts on your plate. So I have a challenge for you. I want you to pick just one of these foods to introduce to your diet this week. Just one. Which one is it going to be? Are you going to roast some tomatoes or are you going to buy a tin of sardines? Tell me in the comments below. I read them and I want to support you in this change. And if you found this video helpful, if it gave you a new tool for your health toolkit, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Do it because your health is worth fighting for, and we are here to fight alongside you. Stay curious, stay nourished, and remember, the best protection always comes from within. I'll see you in the next video.